I hope everybody's doing well wherever you are at. Time is never fluent. You guys, I have no makeup on, nothing. I hope everybody is doing well. Okay. This is an ancestral message for my collectives. I have no makeup on. I'm naked in my raw truth. Ashe. This is an ancestor message, ancestral message for my collectives, okay? Whoo, come through, ancestors. Come through, Ashe. Speak through me, ancestors. Ashe. This is an ancestral message. Ashe. A lot of you guys are in your naked self. Okay, I have no makeup on. I'm not putting no makeup on. Before I came on this live, I was dancing with my ancestors, clearing out generational trauma, ancestral trauma. Okay, you do that by dancing with the ancestors, speaking to the ancestors. Ashe. This is a collective message for my collective people that are on my channel. You are in your bare nakedness. I have no makeup on. Okay, no makeup. No lashes, no makeup. This is me. Okay, in my natural beauty. Okay, a lot of you guys have natural beauty. I want to tell you a story, an ancestral story. Okay, and then we'll get into this ancestral read for my collectives. Okay, a lot of you guys are being guided in the spiritual realm. Okay, so when you're guided in the spiritual realm and you begin or have been living in your truth, right? You're in your nakedness. You're in your rawness. Okay, no makeup on. This is me. Okay, in my nakedness, in my rawness. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys an ancestral story, and then I'm going to read an ancestral collective message that I was getting. A lot of you guys are either in your nakedness or need to get into your nakedness. And what I mean is not to go outside butt naked or not to dress with no clothes on, okay? Being in your nakedness in the spiritual sense is being in your truth, right? Walking in your truth, living in your truth, walking in your purpose, speaking in your purpose, and acting in your purpose. Okay, I have no makeup on. Okay, a lot of you guys may not have no makeup on. You are in your natural nakedness, rawness, and living your truth. Okay, before I start this read, I was going to put makeup on. I was just dancing to clear out some ancestral stuff. Okay, a lot of you guys have to understand we always work with our ancestors. This is why it's very important to know your ancestral heritage. Okay, where you come from, what is in your bloodline. Okay, so this is an ancestral message for my collectives. I'm going to tell you a short story, and then we're going to get into this long 2-page ancestral collective message. Okay, I feel like somebody lost a grandmother that's on my page. I don't know why I was feeling that before I even start my live. If you have lost somebody recently, I send my condolence. Okay, I was seeing a grandmother. Okay, I was also seeing my grandmother. Okay, now I have 2 grandmothers that have crossed over. One of my, a lot of you guys don't know about my heritage, about my bloodline, where I come from, my DNA. I am from a bloodline of Native Indigenous Taino, That is on my father's side, and I'm also from a bloodline of Africans on my mother's side. Okay. And I want to talk about my grandmothers, and then I'm going to start this ancestral read because I feel like whoever I'm speaking to come through, ancestors. Who come through? Whoo! They are coming through. Ashe. This path of spiritualness, you have to be in your nakedness. Okay. You have to be in your nakedness. Okay. Um, and that is why I came on my live with no makeup on, because I am in my natural nakedness. Okay. The only thing is I'm not naked. So my grandmother has been coming through. Okay. I have two grandmothers. On my father's side, we call her, her name was Fella, but we call her Don La Fella. Okay. Don La Fella. For my people that are on my channel that are from Taino descent, um, Puerto Rican descent, they know what Don means. Okay, Don, when you call somebody a Don, right? The reason they call my grandma a Don, okay, is because she was a healer. Okay, she was a true healer. Okay, and they call her Don La Fella. Okay, but her name was Felicia. Okay, Felicia. People call her Felicia or Felicia, her birth name, but they called her Don La Fella. Okay. She had a lot of people that used to come to her home. Okay. I used to come there, stay with her all the time. I learned from her. Also, my cousin is named after my grandmother. Okay, on my father's side. Okay. Now my dad's that's my dad's side. My mother's side, we called my grandma Nanny. Okay, her name was Marion, but we call her Nanny. They used to call the black slaves that took care of the children nannies. Okay, this is even where we get doulas. Okay, doulas. My great grandmom, great grandmom, they were all doulas. They were all healers. Okay, normally healers run through your bloodline. Okay, a lot of people go through rituals, ceremonies, to get. It doesn't matter what you believe in, what you practice. Um, and I'm talking about African, and I'm talking about Spanish. Okay, the Great LTs, the islands. Okay, so my grandmother was a healer. She's coming through lately. She's always come through, but lately she's been really coming through. Okay, now this is a collective message. You come from a bloodline of healers. Okay, you may not know this. You may be thinking about finding out about your bloodline, your ancestry, your DNA, your whole makeup. Okay, to understand your ancestry, you got to know where you come from. Okay, many of us don't know where we come from. Okay, some of you guys may know and some of you guys may not. Okay, there's different parts of Africa that the Africans came from. Okay, there's also different parts of the Caribbean islands, different parts of South America that your ancestors come from. Okay, my ancestors have been all over the Caribbean island, even the South America. Okay, their bloodline, their bloodline is still there. We still live. The Taino, we are here through the bloodline, and we will never fade away. Okay, they try to erase our DNA. They try to erase us. I feel like this is for my collectives. Maybe you feel like you want to get into find out who your ancestors are, to connect. Okay, because you have to connect to your ancestors. This is so important that you connect through your ancestors, because your ancestors are always around you, always guiding you. Okay, and you need to know who to go to. Okay, or who to go through. Okay, or who comes through you. Okay, now your first teacher in life, this is a collective message, and I wrote 2 pages. I'm not going to stay on here long. Your first teacher in life is your parents, your environment, and things that you have learned. Okay, that is your first teacher in life. Okay, your parents taught you something, even if you were not loved in this world. Okay, because you had loved ones that are crossed over that you have never met. Okay, You were a bit, you might have been abandoned, you might have been a foster child, you might have not had no parents, okay? But you were loved, okay? And you can't figure out why you are stuck, okay? Energetically, okay? Because you have to clean out and declutter the generational and ancestral, okay? Trauma, okay? A lot of you guys, you have to get into your nakedness. Hey, okay, so you have to get into your nakedness, your rawness, your authentic self, your true self. Um, you're speaking the truth, you're living the truth. You're not ashamed, you're not embarrassed. You have to be in your nakedness, the raw nakedness of yourself, your true self, okay? Now, the spirit of the ancestors, they always teach us many lessons, okay? Even this world teaches us many lessons, okay? The spiritual realm and the physical realm, okay? Um, whew, of who we are, okay? We have to know who we are to know where we're going, okay? How it works and what it means and how to answer questions that you may have for a long time. A lot of you guys have so many questions for a long time and you don't know where to go, what direction. Okay, you may be at a crossroad, okay, and you don't know, right? Ancestors and ancestrals will guide you on your footsteps in your walk, okay? A lot of us believe that our ancestral worship, because we've been taught that our ancestral worship is bad. And the reason why we've been taught that our ancestral worship was bad, or even to commune with the ancestors, is because the the colonizers, they wanted to for us not to practice our ancestral worship or know who we really are. Okay, they stripped us from everything, right? So you have to put everything back together, okay, of who you are, because you don't know who you are because of all this colonizing, okay, and colonialism, okay, mindset, okay? So you have to take all that away, okay? Shed it all out, throw it out, okay? And how, okay, so how this works, okay? Find out who, where your DNA is from, okay? Where you're from. Some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know, okay? It's okay if you don't know, okay? You call and ask your ancestors, show me the way, guide my footsteps, okay? Be my eyes, be my ears, okay? Now, to answer your question, this is for my collectives that a lot of you guys, like I said, your first teachers are your parents. Okay, it don't matter what kind of life you had, they were your teachers. Some of you guys may have not had parents because you were abandoned, foster children, foster child, or no parents at all. So you don't even know your makeup. Okay, you don't even know your DNA. Okay, to activate your DNA. Okay, so you need to activate it. Okay, because there's power in the DNA. It's power in knowing who you are. Okay, Ashe. Okay, so this is a collective message. To answer the questions that you may have for a long time, a lot of you guys may feel stuck for so many years and you're like, why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? Okay. Why all my life I had to fight? Okay. Why you had to fight all your life? You ask yourself that. Okay. There's many reasons. Okay. I'm going to explain. You know what to know why you are like this all the time. You don't know why you're like this all the time. It's like you're constantly in a fight, and there's a part of you that a lot of you guys still in a place of not knowing who you are, but you still have gratitude. Okay. But you're still in the darkness. Okay. You're trying to find your way through this life, okay? This life that we live, okay? This life that we perceive, this life that we breathe, this life that we walk, this life that we talk, okay? And you may feel like you're in the darkness and you keep asking yourself constantly, why do I always have to fight? Okay, you do not have to fight alone, you guys, okay? Put down your burdens, lay down your burdens, okay? By laying down your burdens is getting into your nakedness and know where you are from, okay? And who is guiding you, okay? But you always had gratitude, okay? Um, but you're still in this darkness. um, so it tells extreme, so you may be in a extreme toughness, um and now you're moving, okay, you're moving into new directions, okay. A lot of us have to be redirected to be redirected, okay, redirected to be directed, okay. Sometimes you think like, oh, I lost my job, I lost my home, I lost my car, or I lost a loved one or whatever. A lot of you guys feel like that's the end of the world. It's not, okay. You keep on going, okay. um and you feel like it's been extremely tough, but you're moving slow, okay, but you feel like it's too slow, okay. Sometimes you have to move slow, okay, because it's a protection to move slow, okay. It's also a protection to move in a certain direction. It's also a protection to not have that job that you want. It's also a protection to not be in that place that you don't want to be in, or that place that you want to be in, and you're being protected and you weren't accepting for that place is because you're not supposed to be in that place. Ashe, ashe. Okay. And you're still in the darkness. It tells you're extremely tough. You know you're moving, but it's not at the pace you want to move. Okay. Sometimes we want to move at a faster pace. We may not understand why we're not moving at a faster pace, and we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. We're having gratitude, we're having patience, we're living in our nakedness, we're living in our truth. But sometimes on that journey to getting to where you are, there is lessons to be learned. Okay? Not just lessons to be learned, it's information to be given. Okay? Um woo. Okay, so you feel like you're in darkness, okay? You're not in darkness. Okay? You're not. Okay? You have to go through the darkness to get to the light. Okay? Some people say you need to go through the light to get to the darkness. It's the other way around. You need to go to the darkness to get to the light. Okay? But still your connection, because you have that connection with your heart, okay? That connection with your heart is that rawness, okay? That nakedness, okay? The connection with the heart is also the connection to the spiritual realm, to the ancestors. Okay, it's that heart. Okay, that ma'at heart, or that heart space. Okay. Um. Wow. And if anyone that okay, also you have to connect. You have to connect to the heart space. Okay. So when I say connect to that heart space, you have to be in your raw nakedness, your truth. Okay. That's the only way out is the truth. And that's the only way to connect to spirit. Spirit is you. Okay. And spirit is your ancestors, and your spiritual team. Okay. Um, whoo. Okay. So what's happening now is light is being shed on a lot of you guys, okay? Um not just shed, you are getting answers, okay, to things that you did not have answers to. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay? Um some of you guys may feel like you're underwater or above water on a ship and you don't know where the ship might take you. Okay, let the ship sail the sea. Ashe. uh, a lot of you guys are releasing emotions. That Pisces energy um, is releasing and receiving. Okay, not just releasing and receiving is that rawness, okay? You have to feel those emotions and then you have to proceed, okay? This is for my collectives. What is unseen in the spiritual will be seen, okay? Also, what is unseen in the physical will be seen, okay? Ashe. Spirit is trying to teach you to how to swim above and underwater. Okay, underwater and above water. Okay. Regards to your ancestors. Okay. Um, and what I mean when we say, as a lot of people in the alchemists, ancestral, when we talk about the regards of the ancestors. Thank you. I don't even know how. Hold on, you guys. Um, Thank you. Um, Thank you guys. Thank you guys. When they always say you have to go through the light, it's not that. Okay, you have to go through the dark to get to the light. Okay, it's the opposite. Okay, so even though you're going through the darkness, thank you, you will get to the light. Okay, you are the light. Okay, you will get to the light. When I say light, your light is your true self. Okay, you are the light. Okay, your energy is, looks like um just a light. Okay, that's all it is. You get back to your true self. Okay, you know who your true self is. And a lot of you guys may have apply for a job and you were denied the job. Many of you guys may have applied for a new place and you were denied the place. Many of you guys may have applied for a car and you were denied the car. Okay. Many of you guys may wanted a relationship and you that relationship was denied. Okay. Because you weren't supposed to be in that relationship. You were being protected. Okay. And you don't even know it, but you still had gratitude. Okay. Um, so that is why you have to be in your nakedness, okay? Your truth, okay? Um so always remember, I always say this, people, places and things. Um it's not who finishes the race. Okay? You might see somebody that might have um how can I say that? Say this. Might have things that you don't have, okay? You might not have it at that moment, but you will have it, okay? You will have much more, okay? um you have to master your emotions, your thoughts and your acts, okay? Like the water, like the body of water, okay? You have to master it, okay? um Mind your thoughts, mind your emotions and mind your actions, okay? um I've learned, and I'm always learning this, you will always learn this in your spiritual journey, that when you can control your emotions, your acts and your thoughts, you have all the power, okay? Because you're trying to get back to your self. The spirit is yourself, okay? Some of you guys may have lost your way, okay? But you are finding your way, okay? You will start to realize who your teachers are. You will also understand what is your bloodline, okay? You will activate your bloodline. You will activate your DNA. You will activate your ancestors. They're always around us, you guys. You may not know this, but they are, okay? They have taught us for so long, the way they colonized us mentally, spiritually and physically, is that to talk to our ancestors is bad. Why is it bad to talk to our ancestors? Why is it bad to pray and ask our ancestors to guide us? Why is that bad? Okay, that's not bad. Okay, because they have came before us. They have went through things. They have seen things. Okay, they hear things that some of you guys may not hear. They see things that some of you guys may not see. Okay. um so this is very important that you know who you are. This is why you must know where you come from. You must connect to who you are and find out, because when you find out who you are, you understand your vibration and you understand your frequency. Okay? because that's all we are. We're energy, we're frequency, we're vibration. That is what we are. Just imagine a light, um, and in that light, there's vibration and there's frequency. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, you will learn to rise up. Okay, and take your power. Okay, not to get involved with chaos, confusion. Um, we must master what we are, okay? And I'm talking about people, places, and things because we are a reflection of who we are, okay? We are a reflection of who we are, okay? Um, so you will come to a place, all right? A place above, like it's your saying. Okay, so when we say that saying as, it's not as above so below, it's as below so above. Okay, you can get to your true self. Okay, when you get to your true self, like I said, you will speak your truth, you will live in your truth, you will move in your truth. Okay, and you are truly free because the truth of who you are, the truth of your existence, your coexistence, is the only way out. Okay, because you know yourself. Okay, sometimes I say you know thyself is know yourself. Okay, you are given a chance to right your wrongs. Okay, you are also given a chance to right the wrongs of your ancestors. Okay, what would you do? Okay, ask yourself that question. What would you do if you couldn't right the wrongs? What would you do? Would you do anything different? Okay, we're not living, we have the past, present, and future all happening at once, right? But we're living in the very moment, okay? Because we don't calculate our life from other people's lives around us, okay? We don't calculate it. We don't look at other people's life and um, envy anybody. Okay. If you know anything about African spirituality, Ashe. If you know anything about Santeria, Ashe. Okay. Caribbean, Spanish. If you know anything about those kind of ancestral knowledge, there's two things we never do. We never seek revenge and we never envy anybody, okay? Because revenge will always come full circle. So if anybody have done you wrong in this life, the past life, the future life, it's going to come full circle to them. Full circle. Okay? I tell you guys this all the time. I see it all the time. Okay? Don't ever seek revenge. Okay? Never seek revenge. Okay? You have to unite. Okay, you have to unite. Not just unite, you have to help others. Okay, because we have higher callings in our life. Okay, a lot of you guys may be in the healthcare field. A lot of you guys may be healthcare field. A lot of you guys might be spiritualists. Um, and other things. Okay. A lot of your jobs are helping others because that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help others. We're supposed to awaken others. Okay. This is evolution. This is revolution, may I say. Okay. But in order to get to this place, you have to know who you are. Okay, you have to be your rawness, your nakedness. If you when you people talk about spiritual awakening, it's not all glamour and it's not makeup and all this stuff. It's crying, it's letting go, it's moving forward, it's understanding. Okay, maybe this is not for me. Okay, what am I reflecting onto others? What is others reflecting onto me? Okay, Ashe. Okay, you have to get raw, you have to get real. And sometimes it's not other people that are causing chaos and confusion. Sometimes it's your own self blocking your own blessings. Ashe, ashe. Okay. So you have to look at yourself and your nakedness and rawness. It's okay. Okay. And people don't accept you in your nakedness and rawness or what you believe in. Okay. Because this is who you are. This is your makeup. This is your DNA. You hold power. You guys don't know how much power and weight you carry in the spiritual. In the spiritual, we carry weights. Okay. We carry weight. We carry power. Okay. For so long we have for so long so many people have been stripped of their power, okay, stripped of their gifts, stripped of their abundance, okay, but all that is going to fade away, okay, because anybody that has did witchcraft on you, anybody that has sent envy and has an envy spirit for you, okay, or sending you the evil eye, it always comes full circle. May I say, Ashe. Okay, always. That's why on my videos, I show my face. I'm not scared to show my face. Okay, because I don't fear nothing, you guys. You don't understand this. I don't fear nothing. I'm in a place in my life where I'm happy with myself. I love myself and I have no fear for nothing. Okay, because I'm living in my truth, I'm walking in my truth, and I'm speaking in my truth, and I'm my authentic self. Okay, I'm not putting on a facade. I'm not out here lying. I'm not out here manipulating energy, manipulating people. And for the ones that people have taken your destiny, may I say, Ashe, Dan La Fala, come through. Come through, speak through me, Dan La Fala. And Nanny, speak through me. Okay? You will get what was yours. Okay? What was taken will be returned. Okay. My grandma, Don LaFella, said that. Okay. Because people try to take other people's destiny. What is not meant for you is not meant for you. Okay. You can manipulate energy. You can manipulate scenarios. You can do all this voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft. You can even do paganism. You can even be an alchemist. You can even practice in dark occult knowledge. They cannot touch you in the physical or spiritual. May I say Ashe? Because everything that is meant for you will be returned to you. Trust my words that I'm speaking to you today. Okay? Ashe. Um, and this is time where I don't want you to dwell on, this is ancestral. Okay? I don't want you to dwell on mistakes. Okay? We don't live in a place of mistake. We don't live in a place of chaos. We don't live in a place of confusion. Okay? That is what the slave master wants you to live in. We are not living in the slave master's world. We are living in our world. Okay? And the slave master may look different ways. Okay? And when I mean slave masters come in all different colors. Okay? All different shapes, all different sizes. But nobody can steal your destiny. They will manipulate and try. Okay. They can have an envy spirit. Let me tell you guys something. When somebody has an envy spirit come through Dalafalam, my grandmother's here. You guys, I feel like crying. Okay. Crying. I was dancing with my ancestors. My grandma was dancing with me, and my nanny was dancing with me. My father was dancing with me, and loved ones that crossed way back. My great grandfather was there. My great grandmother. Okay, on both sides. Everything will be revealed to us. Okay, so when things are revealed to you, okay, I want you to understand that be mindful of your acts and your thoughts. Okay. We are all of us, we have to ask ourselves this question. Okay. Who are we? Okay. What is our purpose here? Okay. Why are we just coexisting or existing? Okay. This is an ancestral message for my collectives. Okay. If you have done things that were wrong, okay, you need to rewrite those wrongs. Okay. So if you try to destiny swap with somebody, if you try to manipulate energy, if you try to send an evil eye or whatever, let me tell you guys, I've been doing this. I've been a seer since a child. Okay? A seer since a child. I always see everything come full circle. And when I mean everything comes full circle, is everything that people put out always comes back to them. Okay. It may not come back to them at the moment, but it will come back to them. And if it doesn't come back to them, it comes to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Okay. This is just how it works. Okay. So forgive yourself. My ancestors and your ancestors say, forgive yourself, know yourself, okay? Take your power back, live in your power, speak your truth, live in your truth. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed of what you've been through, okay? Be your nakedness, be your rawness. It's fucking beautiful, okay, may I say. Okay, we're all on different journeys. Don't ever compare your journey to somebody else's journey, okay? Because most of the times, all the time, you walk your journey alone. When you talk about a spiritual awakening doesn't look fucking beautiful, okay? A spiritual awakening, you're on your knees, you're praying, you're crying, you're releasing, you're reflecting, you're understanding, and you're just in your nakedness and rawness, okay? You have to be in your nakedness. Okay. You have to be. All right. And never compare your journey to anybody else's journey because everybody's journey is different. Okay. You don't know what people have been through on their journey. You don't know what they had to do on their journey. Okay. So you never compare your journey, your spiritual journey, to anybody else's journey. Okay. Because you don't know what somebody else went through. You never walked a day in somebody else's shoes. Okay. And a lot of people that have been through a lot spiritually, okay, the reason a lot of you guys been through a lot spiritually is because of who you are. Okay. I do reads all the time. And I see a lot of people being spiritually brainwashed. Okay. Brainwashed, literally brainwashed. Not even knowing who they are, not even knowing the weight they carry or the power they carry. Okay, you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I don't know how thank you guys for the super chats. I appreciate it. This is an ancestral message. You guys, I dance all the time. Sometimes I get up, I feel like dancing, and I start crying. And I'm releasing and I'm letting go. I'm also getting downloads. I'm also talking to my ancestors. I will never, ever be colonized in my brain, mentally, physically. I will not let no colonizer, because where I come from, that was not our ways, and it's not going to be my ways or my children's ways or my grandchildren's ways. They will know the truth, they will live in the truth, and they will speak their truth. Okay? Ashe. Okay, so be mindful of that. Your journey is not measured by somebody else's journey. Your journey is your journey. Okay? And sometimes when you walk this journey alone, it's not, people think a spiritual awakening. This is why I said this new age bullshit, and this is an ancestral message. When you go through a spiritual journey, you're growing. Okay, you're learning. Okay, it could take lifetimes. Okay, lifetimes of lessons and learning. Okay, but you have to be the student. Okay, you have to be the student for you to be the teacher. Okay, and by tapping into that, in your journey, there's joy. Okay, there's joy, there's gratitude, there's understanding, there's wisdom, there's knowledge, um there's all that. Okay, by tapping into your ancestral DNA and tapping into who you truly are, there's power in there. There's power in the words, there's power in the way we walk, the way we talk. There's power in who we are. Okay. Don't let nobody ever steal your joy, you guys. Okay, because it's not theirs to have. Okay, don't ever. Okay. And don't envy somebody because of what they have. Don't be mad because you may not have got that job that you wanted, or that car that you wanted, or that relationship that you wanted, or that place that you wanted. Okay? Because you are being redirected for a reason, and protected for a reason. Okay? So you got to tap in to that. You got to find your joy, your whatever your joy is in this life. And I always refer back to Bob Marley saying, he always said, make this life your heaven. And I understand that to my bones, what he was really saying. Okay. By tapping into your ancestors will help you heal and really reflect, and also get to help yourself, um and also get to help your bloodline. Okay, because when you're not living in your truth, speaking your truth, walking your truth, you're not healing. Okay, and by you healing, you're healing your children, you're healing your grandchildren, and you're healing the children to come. Okay, and by doing that is being your authentic self, speaking your truth, walking in your truth. Okay, and we have to be in our nakedness and spiritual awakening, spiritual, every time you have awakening, okay, it's not going to look pretty. Okay, and a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the times, you walk alone in the spiritual journey, in the spiritual life, you really do. Okay, so you have to be okay with being by yourself. Okay, because you learn a lot about yourself, you learn your weaknesses, you learn your strengths, my collectives. You learn who you are. Okay, and you embrace who you are, you love who you are. It's so much power when you truly love yourself. Okay, because you become not codependent, you become you become independent. Okay. um so healing for many generations to come. Okay. I keep seeing my grandma. She keeps so be mindful of your interactions, your mind, your choices, your communications, and what you speak. And keep in mind always the prize. Okay, always keep in mind of the prize. Always remember that you are reflecting and you are projecting. Okay. Also, when we list, I want to talk about, because this is an ancestral message. When I say reflecting and projecting, who you are, you project that, you project those kind of people in your life. Even reflecting. Okay, you some of you guys make people see who they are. Okay. Yes, some of you guys make people see who they are. Okay. And some people don't want to see who they are, but they need to see who they are. Okay, you guys, so be mindful of that. You guys, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for the super chat. I love you guys. I really do. I thank you guys for being on my channel. Um, a lot of you guys have so much potential. You have so much power. Um, and you have so much power by uniting with people that are like you. Okay. And when I mean like you, it doesn't matter what color you are. Frequency does see color in some aspect, but frequency is a way that we need to unite. Okay. There's always going to be evolution. There's ever all the time, there's going to be evolution within ourselves, evolution around us. We're always growing, we're always learning. And we have to go through a process of learning, because this is why sometimes we're redirected, because we have to learn something, so one day we can be a teacher, so we can teach others, heal people, truly heal people. Okay. I have came across some true healers in my life, true healers that are healing people from sickness, healing people like from their spiritual gifts. um, I always talk about my Atlantean sister. I mean, she didn't even know how strong her gifts were. And I had to reassure her who she was that day. Okay. And every day since then, she's been doing her work. Okay. And she knows that her work never ends. Okay. that she will continue her work, because in her past life, she comes from the Aztec, the Atlanteans, okay? Like many of us maybe come from the Atlanteans, okay? And when they say the Atlanteans was dark and all this other stuff, you have good and bad in everything, okay? So wherever you come from, there is always going to be good and bad. Okay. You have choices. You have free will out here. Okay. You have free will to do bad and you have free will to do good. Okay. But let me tell you, okay, Don LaFella, when you do bad, it always comes back and haunts you. Okay. Always. I have done reads, you guys, for a very long time. I have been seeing since I was a child. And I have did reads on people, and I'm going to tell you for one instinct, and this is an ancestral message. I'll never forget this one. She's a friend of mine, and we're still friends to this day. Okay, we done went through things, had disagreements, and we're still friends to this day. I did a reading on her one time, and it was one of my first readings I ever did with her. And come to find out that she has so much ancestral trauma, um, ancestral trauma and generational trauma from her mother, that there was two people in her family, okay, a nephew and somebody else in her family died of a crazy ass um accidental death. I mean, it was crazy. It was something like you wouldn't. The nephew was running from the police, and he wind up drowning. And I'm like, how did he drown? Okay, he drowned. He was running from the police, and he wound up going in the body water and drowning. Okay, I don't know how true that is, but that's what they said the cause of death. Okay, so I have seen people that their mother or father have did wicked things, and it skipped generations. Okay, literally skip generations. Okay, I've seen it, you guys. All right, so be mindful of that. Okay, so this is an ancestral message. So be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of your actions and your emotions. Everything comes full circle. Everybody's on their own spiritual journey. Be comfortable with being by yourself, loving yourself, knowing thyself, understanding yourself, even so though sometimes it may look crazy. Okay. But thank you guys for the super chats. This is an ancestral message. My grandmother is here. She is talking through me. Dollar fellow. My grandma, um, she was from. I'm gonna come back with a video about my grandmother because she's saying talk about her. The reason why she wants me to talk about her is to tell her story, okay? Because some people can relate to her story, okay? Of how she came here and what she had to endure, okay, you guys, and how she helped people. She was a doula. Um, she was not just a doula. She was a seer, okay? So people will come to her and asked for guidance, and that's why they called her Don LaFella, okay? Because it wasn't like she was a god, they were worshiping her, they just respected her, okay? There's a difference there, okay? Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna come back on and we'll just talk about everything and anything, okay, you guys? All right, thank you guys. Thank you for the super chats. I love you guys. I really love you. This is an ancestral message for my collectives, and I know some of you guys may need to hear this, that you're never alone, that you are always loved, that they see you, they hear you, and they feel you. Okay, you guys, Ashe.